Shopify Editions Winter 2026 is basically Shopify saying, hey, you know all those things that you wish you had time to do? Optimize, test, personalize, launch, ship a little bit faster? Cool, we're actually making the platform do more of that for you. So the biggest theme across the updates that we're going to go over is that gap between ideas and execution. That right there is just shrinking faster and faster. And one of the main reasons of that is Sidekick and some of the new AI tools that are starting to behave less like features. And I can see this in the future. We probably will get away from the 150 product features that we have here and more of teammates. Hey, I'm Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. We've served over 300 clothing brands in the last year alone. I would appreciate if you like, subscribe so you don't miss any of our latest content. All right, let's break down Winter 2026 updates, which by the way, the name of this edition, they always come up with the name of each of the editions. This one's the Renaissance edition. And I just want to start up with Sidekick Pulse. But before I do that, I just want to take just a quick second to talk about the mind-blowing aesthetics of this website. I mean, we've just been geeking about this all day. Like, this thing is just beyond next level. What Shopify has been able to do here is just absolutely incredible. If you get a chance, please go to the link and just experience this for yourself, because it's just absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. And I'll show you once we get to some of those other points. We'll go over some of the little Easter eggs that are hidden inside of here. But let's start with Shopify Sidekick Impulse. Sidekick Impulse is basically Shopify turning Sidekick into the friend who kind of taps you on your shoulder and says, hey, your house is on fire over there, before you actually get to smell the smoke. So instead of you having to dig through reports or analytics or every single day be on the lookout for little trends and patterns, Sidekick Pulse is going to proactively deliver personalized recommendations and next steps, one, using your data and using market trends. So as more people sign up for Sidekick Pulse, it will get a summary of all these brands and what they're doing and what's actually working for them. So Sidekick Pulse is going to proactively deliver personalized recommendations and next steps using market trends plus data from your store. So it's going to, as people sign up to this, it's going to understand and summarize what's working for all these other brands that could be in your niche, and also take along some of the analytics from your particular store to give you actionable things. And it's not just that, it gives you the actionable thing, but then it prompts you to, hey, I can get started with the first step for this particular task, which is amazing. And for clothing brands, this is huge. Like, most brands don't lose money on like one big mistake. You lose money on like 50 little tiny blind spots that you can't even see. It's like the product that's maybe quietly becoming a return magnet because the size chart maybe is off, or the colorway that's eating ad spend but never gets past the add to cart, or the collection page that used to convert but now is mysteriously down 18%. And maybe that's because you swapped out a banner or realized that, I don't know, the whole page kind of slowed down for whatever reason, right? So Pulse is the start of Shopify saying, stop playing detective, we'll surface the clues, and Sidekick can create the solutions for you. Quick little caveat with this, and with a lot of these updates, I would say majority of the updates that you're probably gonna be most excited about, there's gonna be a coming soon. So, and they always kind of do this, right? They launch a bunch of really cool features, but they don't really launch. It's more of like a, here's what's really coming. And more than likely, it takes 3 to 6 months for it to fully come out. And to be honest, some of you may actually start seeing this as soon as this week. But just letting you know that a lot of these are either going to be a slow rollout, or it's like a full-on, we're not ready yet, it's still coming soon. Now, next one is Sidekick custom app generation. At first, I was like, wow, this is wild. They're gonna, a lot of people are not gonna be happy. A lot of app developers are not gonna be happy, right? Because now Sidekick can just make apps. Like, that's just insane, right? But the reality of this particular feature here is that Sidekick can build custom apps that are designed to sort of work in the back end of your store. So you think about it that way, right? Like, you have your back end admin, where products, orders, customers, and then you have your front end, which is like the website. And when you think about apps within the front end, you're thinking about things like back in stock notification alerts, you're thinking about wish lists, you're thinking about upsells and pop-ups and things like that. These custom apps that Sidekick can create are more for the back end. It's maybe tapping into, again, inventory, right? Returns, some of the analytics, some of the customer data that you have in there. So you could think about things like, building an app that can maybe flag certain SKUs or variants at risk of stock out based on the last 14 days of sales velocity, or build me a returns eligibility checker that matches my policy and auto tags orders automatically. Or for example, create an app that recommends which products I need to reorder, right? Like, this is not AI writing a cute email for you. Like, that's it. It's actually AI that's reducing the chaos that you may have operationally in the back end. And that's super important, right? Because when ops get cleaner, your marketing gets sharper. All right, next up, we have the ability for Sidekick to generate theme edits. And this is one that hits conversion rate optimization directly, right? Shopify says that you can now tell Sidekick the specific design updates that you want, and it will just adjust your theme instantly. So instead of, for example, on this particular demo that we have here, we click on the plus sign and you will see that it's making a 2 images side by side for the hero section. And there we go. We have 2 images side by side. And then this one, we click on it and it's asking to make the type bolder and the copy sound like more of a Renaissance. So now we have those changes made here directly. Now, I went in the back end and I started playing around with it. Some of the things that I found was whenever you click on a section, and actually let me show you. We're screen recording here, so let me show you. So when you load up your site and you click on a section, you will see this ask for changes down here at the bottom. And what I found out was that when I click on it and I ask it for something simple, for example, if I want to center this text on this image, center text and buttons on here. Let's just keep it simple. Center text and buttons. I misspelled and. It's thinking, and there we go. Now the text and the buttons are centered within this image with text overlay. And then if you can see on the right-hand side, you'll see the purple boxes. So it just shows you where it made those changes. So it's really for, for you to, yes, it's nice, right? But at the same time, which I tried a different test, which was I clicked on the header, and then I was like, I want to add a gift emoji next to my search bar that will take me to like a rewards page or something. And that was just like, no, sorry, I can't do that. And then I tried to prompt it differently, and it's like, no, sorry, I can do that. But when it comes to something more complex, then what it will more than likely do is give you the option to generate your own section. With the header, it's a little bit more tricky. But with any of the sections within the template, if I ask it to do something crazy here with its image with text overlay, like add a video, it will probably say like, I didn't find the capability to do it within this section, but I can create a new section for you that includes a video in the background instead of an image. So just know that this editing of the theme is more for things that are already available for you. And it will do the change for you without you having to dig through any of the settings here in the back end and try to find which is the one that actually centers the text, right? Because sometimes it can be hard to navigate through all the edits and all the things that are available within each of these sections. So this kind of alleviates that a little bit. And again, if it doesn't know how to do it, or if it can't, your section doesn't have those capabilities, then it will give you the option to generate a section, which is also part of one of the updates. They've now added the ability for you to create sections with Sidekick with any theme. So that used to be for Horizon only, and now they've pushed it to every single theme. So if you haven't seen that, you can basically on, again, any theme. I think we've reached the limit on this one, so I need to delete one, but I can add a section, and you'll see here towards the very top, generate. You click generate, and then you can literally prompt out whatever your heart desires into here, and it's just absolutely incredible. If you see something that doesn't look quite right, you can just reprompt it and fix it And it's just really, really cool, really good. And I would highly recommend that you check that out. Okay, now let's shift into the next big category, and that is Shopify Agentic Storefront. This is the part that feels like we're jumping into the future, and we're kind of pulling the future into our present. And Shopify Agentic Storefronts are about managing how your brand appears to shoppers inside of AI chats. Think of ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, right? These are going to be some of the first ones that are going to, your products are going to be discoverable in. And there are going to be more of these channels coming soon. But think of it as like, you know, right now, if I go to my store and I click on sales channels, right? We have our online store, we have our Facebook, our TikTok. So just think about like, there will be ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, right? Like all these options are going to be now different sales channels in the back end. And really what we're saying here is that search is changing. People are preferring more and more to talk to a chatbot than go through Google to find the next product. So this next generation of shoppers, they may not start on Google with best hoodie under $80. It may start with, I need a hoodie that fits oversized but doesn't look sloppy, and I want it under $100, and I want it to arrive by Friday. And an AI chat will literally respond with options with all that criteria already included in it. So if your brand isn't structured to show up there, then you will be invisible in that moment. Now, if you're structured to show up there, you're literally being recommended at the exact second someone has the intent of buying that very specific product. So what should a clothing brand do with this information right now? Two things. One, make sure that you're cleaning up your product data like your life depends on it. I've seen so many people with just crappy titles, descriptions, or material details, or fit notes, like not enough care instructions, or high quality images. Like all those things matter. And number two is nailing your positioning, because AI recommendations are going to favor brands that are clearly for something, not premium streetwear. It's more like minimal streetwear for tall guys, right? Or performance basics for lifters, or golf apparel that doesn't look like golf apparel. And yes, you already know, this is one of those where you have to click on the button to get notified. So I would highly recommend that you click there and you input your email address so you get notified when this fully drops. Now let's talk about Rollouts and SimJam, because these two together are gonna be a conversion rate cheat code, and I absolutely cannot wait when we actually get this. Because again, as you can see, that little button right there says get notified. Rollouts lets you schedule theme changes and A/B test just built directly into the admin. Before, this was available to Plus customers, and then we had some apps available. Way back when, I think we had Google Optimize, I think that's what it's called, where we could at least run a couple of A/B tests. But now, this is just absolutely beautiful. This just helps so much. And this matters a lot for clothing brands, because especially for what we just experienced with the holidays and Black Friday, this allows you to essentially schedule sections, to schedule a full website build, and also remove it after you're done with that particular Black Friday sale, etc. So you don't have to wake up at, I don't know, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning to make changes on your website. You can just schedule things, and it just, it works, and it's absolutely amazing. So think about, like, swapping out the hero banner. You can reorder collections. You can add a new banner. You can change the product page layout, and then try to fully determine, right, what's working and what's not working. So this is like, we can now stop guessing. We can actually just put it to the test and see what actually converts better. Now, SimJam is just right underneath. This one is an app. So you can download this app right now, technically. It was a letdown. I was like, get the app. I was like, yes, we're gonna get this app. And then you download the app, and it's just like you have to get on the wait list. Sweet. Now, SimJam is a little bit different, right? You think about Rollouts. Rollouts it's live. It's you're pushing something out into the world, and people are actually A/B testing those particular changes that you're making, and Shopify is keeping track of the data. SimJam is actually an app that it's going to simulate hundreds of shoppers using AI agents and the data from billions of other stores and purchases, and it's gonna give you recommendations before you go live. So you can make the changes that you want, you can run it through SimJam, and SimJam, as you can see within the preview here, it's gonna pretend like it's gonna give this website to a bunch of AI agents. They're gonna come into your store and they're gonna try to purchase and give you recommendations based on how they navigate through the site. So you gotta think about like SimJam as like a flight simulator, right? But it's actually for your storefront. Instead of learning a hard lesson after your lunch, like, oh, everyone is bouncing because the size guide is just way deep in the page, it can actually flag those issues before you hit publish. And for clothing brands that do drops, this is massive because drops aren't forgiven. And if you run a drop on Friday at 11 a.m. and the site experience is confusing, you don't just lose sales, you lose momentum, you lose the moment, you lose trust. So if Rollouts help you test changes safely, SimJam helps you pressure test the experience before it actually goes public. And if you want to see a little preview of the app, that's what it is. It's just a little robot doing some shoulder? No, what are these? Bicep curls? Yeah, barbell bicep curls and overhead press there. And then yeah, you just want to click on that button, join the wait list. So do that. So you're some of the first people to gain access to this. Now, before we move on, I just want to say, if you are a clothing brand owner and want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online, you can actually schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, but you can go find a time down below. Click on the description down. Now let's go over some of the marketing updates here. Let's go over marketing. We kind of skipped retail, I know, but I just want to make sure that we cover all these things. And again, definitely come in here and check all this stuff out, because I'm only going to be able to talk about 10, and there's 150. So next up is the Shopify Product Network. And I'm going to combine it with the shop campaigns, expanding into online stores, and I'll give you a reason here why. The Shopify Product Network is basically a built-in ability for you to have products from across the whole Shopify catalog, and they can surface into your Shopify store via search or collections or maybe some emails or post-purchase pages, and then you earn a commission on every sale. The difference here, and if you follow us and you know about Shopify Collective kind of gives you the ability to pick specific products that you want to display on your store, versus the Shopify Product Network. It's more kind of like random. It's like it gives you the ability to exclude maybe certain product categories or maybe certain brands that you know are like direct competition. But beyond that, it's kind of like if the user is searching for it, like we'll show it on your page no matter what, and they can purchase for everything right within there. I think the example that they gave here is like, you know, they sell skateboarding equipment or actual skateboards, and maybe the customer wants to also buy the helmet from here or the shoes and the jacket. They could probably do that. And you can see the option here where it shows you that this is being fulfilled by a different brand. Now, the interesting thing about this is that, I mean, obviously it's just trying to make it easier for the end user, right? They're looking at the end user, they come into your store, and they probably want to, buy all the things right at once instead of having to buy from you and then go over here and then go over there. So they kind of like making a mini Amazon stores on every single Shopify store, if you think about it that way. Now, this next update was the Shopify campaigns that it's expanding into online stores. And what's happening is that as brands start to add the Shopify Product Network into their stores, then there's also going to be a competition on what products show up, like what products do show up. So in order to make that a little bit more competitive, you're essentially going to be able to run an ad on someone else's Shopify website. So I could be looking at skateboards, but if I want my product to show up on all these skateboarding websites, I can pay like an ad, like you would pay Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. You would pay for an ad, which is shop campaigns, for your products to show up on other Shopify stores, which is crazy. It's insane. It's very meta, but it absolutely makes sense. It's the future, and it's kind of like where we're going. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. There's also the idea of you may have competing products in your store, right? So that's kind of weird. But I do believe that this is going to be something that's going to be beneficial for the end customer, really. Like at the end of the day, it's really beneficial for the end customer. I'm not so sure about the merchants, but hopefully we do see growth for everyone, right? And obviously the merchant's going to get commissions from every sale. So, and you don't have to necessarily do anything about it. You know, you get the commission and the order gets automatically sent to them, and you don't have to worry or touch about it or think about it or anything like that. All right, next up is, it's just sitting right here, which is SMS marketing. Now it's available through Shopify Messaging. So it actually used to be called Shopify Email, and they've changed it to Shopify Messaging because they're adding SMS. And this is an important shift. Shopify is consolidating messaging, email and SMS into just one place, really trying to compete even more so than ever before against Klaviyo. Because in essence, the real game isn't, you know, it's email versus SMS. What should I do? The real game is the right message, the right person, the right time, the right channel. And SMS is a very powerful channel when you use it like a scalpel, not necessarily a megaphone, right? You got to think about text messages as VIP early access text messages, back in stock notifications, your size is back, right? Drop reminders, shipping updates, and also helping you reduce some of the support tickets to, you know, stay on top of mind for the customer. But something that I want you to know about SMS is that open rates are about 98%. In one 2025 study, reported that 84% of consumers are opted in to receive text messages from businesses. I know I am, and for whatever reason, I never unsubscribe. I just let them keep coming in. It's like a nice little, it's like when nobody texts you for a while and you kind of get one of those text messages, you get excited about it. Maybe that's what it is. Please text me. I'm just kidding. Now, do you need to absolutely spam people? No, but if you run a clothing brand and you're not building SMS as your drop day amplifier, then you're definitely leaving money on the table. Don't get me wrong, email is great and it's great for storytelling, but SMS is just great for action. All right, next up, let's go into the Shop app. This is actually very, very interesting. So Shop app, and again, this is one of those where it's still coming soon. But I do want to talk about this because this is really, really cool. They're giving you options now to have dynamic storefronts, a deals feed, so you can actually shop through just the deals and discounts, and you can also do shoppable videos right here within the Shop app. If you don't have the Shop app enabled, make sure that you enable it, because it's just a very easy way for customers to find your brand and to find your products in here. Right now, and these updates are making me even more excited about it, because now they're treating this almost like as your individual storefront, as your individual app, and it's the ability for you to now treat this as you would treat your theme editor, right? You're gonna have the ability to, I think even beyond that, because you can change what you show depending on who's coming to your store. So you can definitely personalize things that's going to be relevant for each shopper. For the deals, that means that discounts, price drops, they're going to be highlighted into a dedicated feed. So if I'm a user and I'm following your brand, I can very easily just see if you're running any deals right now, click on the deal, just shop right there within the app. And the shoppable videos, that means that you can add videos to shop, which you can do before. It was just kind of like your static photos, and that was about it. Now, for clothing brands, this is basically, again, a built-in discovery layer, discovery app, where you can have video, you can have deals, you can have personalized content all within one place, and it just makes it so much easier for the customer to shop your brand. And again, this is one of those that it's still coming soon, but you can click on read the article, and in here, they just have a blog post that goes a little bit more in depth about it. And then towards the end, there's a little join the wait list. So this one's a little bit different, but I would highly suggest to join that list. Now, the last one that we have here is shipping. And I know shipping sounds a little bit boring. One thing here that I want to share with you is this little Easter egg. Click on that key. And then once this little thing opens, move it It's like a little magnifying glass. Click on the key right there, and now we have kind of like this X-rayed alternate dimension view of the website. Like, what is this? This is insane. This is nuts. This is nuts. Look at this. I can scroll. Crazy, crazy. Anyways, within shipping, one of the biggest updates and something that I want you to go in and do right now is the ability to set a default package per variant. And this maybe sound a little bit boring, but when you realize that shipping errors are silent conversion killers, then this becomes very important, right? If your hoodie ships in a poly mailer, but your maybe heavyweight jacket needs a box, then that wrong package setting can lead to bad rate estimates at checkout, overpaying for labels, slow fulfillment. It just becomes a little bit of a headache, right? So that default package per variant means that you can actually set a packaging at the variant level to get more accurate shipping rates at the checkout. When you buy labels, it's gonna be a lot faster. Now, the only thing about this is that this is for single item orders. If the customer is still adding 16 things to their cart, Shopify is still gonna take that default package that you have set up within your settings in the backend. So if we zoom out just a little bit, here's a real story of Shopify Editions Winter 2026 for clothing brands. Shopify is pushing the platform towards more proactive insight, more automation, more testing, more personalization, and more distribution beyond your own site. And that means that the winners won't just be brands with the best, awesomest designs. The winners will be the brands that move faster without breaking things, the brands that test instead of guessing, the brands that personalize instead of blasting, the brands that show up where shoppers are going next, including ChatGPT. And to wrap this up, I just want to say a very simple action plan. Just start using Sidekick as your daily operator, not just as a novelty. Pick one core flow to improve: product page, collection, homepage. Use the theme edits, the Sidekick theme edits, to help you move faster when you're editing your store. And then literally sign up to get notified for all these notifications, because once they actually drop, it's going to help you dramatically. If you like this video, click like for more, and you can check out more of our videos right here. See you later.